Welcome to Voodoo RL. This is podcast-13.
What up, guys? It's your boy Bear, and I'm here with
Odd Phantom?
And today we're gonna be talking about the Slender Man.
Yes, the Slender Man.
Slender Man.
Ooh. So what's going on, guys? I know it's been a long time since we've been back to doing our podcast. It's only been like 2 months, not that much.
I think it's been longer than that.
It's like new year, new me, but we haven't done anything. Huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so a lot of you may not know who the Slender Man is, or maybe have heard of the Slender Man. But what we want to talk about is this imaginary man that was created. Can you like create your own, I guess, demon or whatever, and can it manifest itself? That's what we want to kind of talk about.
Okay, so you want to give your thoughts on it, or you want me to go?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, well, I'll go first. I believe that if a bunch of people believe in the same thing, well, don't believe, but let's say in me, I create a story of, let's say, in something, and a bunch of other people start believing it as well, I think it can be true. It can become itself. Like, it can create, and it can manifest itself into something that was out of nothing, like out of thin air, pretty much. Because the way I see it is that it's like your brain it can play tricks on you, and it's really powerful. So, like they say, if you wake up in the middle of the night and you're scared and you think you see something in the corner of the room, your brain plays tricks on you, and you're like, there's something there, when in all reality nothing's there.
Yeah, but I feel like that's more of the psychological aspect.
I'm
talking more about I'm just
the
saying paranormal aspect.
No, that's what I'm saying, because you figure if our minds can just do that little thing and create something that isn't there, and that's just one of us, you figure how many, if everybody thinks the same thing, it can, like you said, manifest itself into becoming something that it wasn't there.
Yeah, well, talking about manifesting, you had mentioned to me about what is it?
All the Supernatural.
Yeah, Supernatural okay, guys, Supernatural, season 1, episode 17, around the 18-minute mark.
Uh-huh.
If you guys are not familiar with it, it's a TV show about like a bunch of paranormal activity stuff, all that kind of stuff. But in that episode, season 1, episode 17, minute 18, it talks about a topic about this guy and his friends. They went to like an old abandoned cabin, and they started writing symbols on the walls, and
so they pretty much were created
an axe murderer named Mordecai.
Yeah, Mordecai.
The axe murderer, pretty much named
Mordecai. And then somebody put it on a website, and then everybody started saying, we saw him.
Yeah, people started saying we saw him, and then it got the website got over 1 million views from just that people seeing that.
Yeah. So
apparently one of the sigils that they wrote on the wall was, I guess, a sigil that people can focus on it, and it gives it like energy, you would say. So apparently from doing that, it actually created the axe murderer named Mordecai in the in the TV show. So that kind of interests me in the sense of like, if we can create something malignant, or if we think of saying a monster, right? Now, I'm not trying to say like fucking Godzilla or something, out of the extraordinary that I know wouldn't happen. But like saying, you imagine a monster with like saying a nasty smile, and you just keep on putting thought into it. Maybe a bad spirit or a demon can kind of take the form of what scares you. Like kind of like Freddy Krueger. He goes into your dreams, and sometimes he knows your worst nightmare pretty much. How how when he fought Jason, he knew that he was afraid of water. Yeah. So he used his.
He tried to draw his fear pretty much.
He used his fear against him. So maybe like, can these spirits use your fear against you? That's what kind of interests me in the sense of like, it could be possible, because imagine I know this is a TV show that we're referring to, but the Slender Man it manifested for some people. It manifested for some people, and these two girls, that the reason we're talking about is because these two girls, they stabbed her friend.
Well, we'll get back to that later, because right now we're talking about
but I want to give people why we're talking about the manifest part. We're not explaining the whole thing. We're just saying these two friends stabbed their friend, and they pretty much said the Slender Man told him to do it. Okay, so that means that this guy actually became real. You know, it was when did it start? The I guess the whole thing was 2009, right? Yeah. So now what is it?
It's 2019.
10 years. I mean, is there like a you know, can it be manifested in a couple of months? You know, does it have to take a whole, you know, 20 years to manifest? I mean, you know.
Well, remember nowadays, you know what I mean? It's not like it's much easier to create a story on anything because a lot of the things you can falsify. You know what I mean? You can make records.
Oh yeah, photos, I know. So you can make
you know, and then like if you look at the Slender Man, you know, there's old pictures from like 19.
Yeah, you can make old. Yeah, but you can make Photoshop stuff.
So it's like, dude, it's like, you know, you can't say it's true or say it's not true. But we go to the thing like we're saying, can it manifest itself? It's if everybody believes in it, it can, like, let's just say the chupacabra. You know what I mean?
That's real.
No, yeah, but I'm just
that's
saying.
That's not the manifest. That's the actual,
but
like,
before anybody actually found one of them, everybody had a different picture of what it looked like. Everybody, you know what I mean? So there's things that maybe, how do we know it was real? What if it wasn't real? And like you were saying, what if a demon created itself to be the chupacabras and it became the chupacabras? You get what I'm saying? So it's just, I believe that if a bunch of people are all scared of the same thing, it will become real. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like, let's just say like the boogeyman that they tell us when we're growing up. Be like, oh, you know, if you don't go to sleep, the boogeyman's gonna get you. For a lot of kids, it scares them. You know what I mean?
I mean, they didn't tell me the boogeyman. They said, you know, the what is it?
No, but I'm just saying, like,
no, not El Diablo. It was El Cucuy.
El Cucuy. No, but it's the same thing.
That was our boogeyman.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's still considered a boogeyman. You get me? Why? And then you would go to sleep. Why? Because you didn't want to see him. And then what would happen when they would tell you that? You start hearing noises. You know, you'd be like, oh, I think something's under my bed, but you wouldn't want to check. You know what I mean? And then you would feel like, oh, if you're on your bed without your feet hanging, you know, you mean you're safe.
But that's what I'm saying. Sometimes, like, you yourself is right. You could it could get put in your head. You know.
That's what I'm saying. So you figure if
they told you, right, that, you know, you went into a hotel.
And they told you it's haunted.
No. They just say, you know, people hear, for some reason, they hear a marble bouncing on the floor in the night.
Yeah, if you tell that to everyone that comes in.
If you tell it to everybody comes in, somebody, you know, out of 100 people, at least someone in that 100 group
is going to say,
I heard that marble.
Exactly.
I heard the marble, you know, bouncing on the floor.
That's what I'm saying. So you figure.
And why is because you thought about it and you manifested it in yourself.
That's what I'm saying. So who is it to say that, like, let's say the sightings that they did see, right? Because also, too, when it comes to regarding you were saying about the stabbing, the two little girls, remember, kids have a vivid imagination. But not only that, as they're developing, who's to say they could be schizophrenic? Exactly. You know, something like that. And not only that, also, they create this image and it tells them to do things. No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then also, too, with kids, you have to remember, a lot of kids, when they don't have any type of friends or they don't have any type of social, you know, like skills, they manifest their own personal, what is it called? You know, imaginary friend. Yeah, imaginary friend. They have tea parties, they have stuff like that. So like you were saying, who isn't to say that, you know, maybe these people are schizophrenic, you know, maybe they're, you know, crazy or whatever. And, you know, they do it because they thought somebody was telling them to do it and it was a good thing them doing it. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe the thing that was telling them to do wasn't a good thing. It was bad. Oh, yeah. And it scared them into doing something that they didn't want to do. That can be true as well, because you got to remember is that kids, like they say, like kids at that age growing up, they can see things that we can't see. Well, the younger they are, yes, they see things that we don't see. I wouldn't say see things, but they more are perceptive to the paranormal. They're more perceptive to the paranormal than when you become older. Why? I have no idea. I mean, I really haven't looked into it, to be honest. But there is, you know, what I've seen, you know, that little kids, you know, from experiences, you know, of our nieces, you know, things happening to them that they only were able to see. Yeah. You know, especially like that. But when you were a child, you know, you saw ghosts, you know, in my grandmother's house, you know. I'm saying, like, when you're younger, I feel like you're more perceptive into seeing things that, you know. No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I believe that if let's say, if we continue a story, right? Let's say me and you right now, we continue a story that we saw, you know, let's say in the, you know, we make up our own thing. You know what I mean? I said we should. And I said we should try something like that. You know, well, I'm not gonna try, dude. Hell no, dude.
Just be like, we should like
hell
make
no,
up his own.
dude.
We should just make up our own
hell
like
no,
demon or something.
You're already
and,
pushing on that too
and then
hard.
just
dude.
like
no,
I'm
good.
put
I'm
like
good.
symbol and kind of
I'm
like mess with
good.
it and
no, but
put
I'm
it
just
on
saying
a website and things like that.
I'm just saying, and then also too has to do with.
Well, we gotta experiment. We gotta make sure to see.
I'm not a scientist, bro. I don't.
That's not scientist. That's paranormal studies. Different.
All right, but I'm good. But anyway, it's like everything. It's like we give power to the story. You know what I mean? Same simple fact right now. You know what I mean? We're talking about the Slender Man. You know what I mean? So we're giving it life as well. If 60 people hear us, you know what I mean, and one person out of those 60 people didn't know about the Slender Man, and they said, "Oh, dude, I saw the Slender Man last night."
Well, yeah, I guess you would say like the more you spread it, the more it might
gonna
be
spread like wildfire.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I mean, it's already known, but it's like the more you talk about it.
Yeah, like if people don't know about it, or like, let's say somebody that's listening to us right now, you know, they never heard about the Slender Man. You know what I mean? And then they start looking up videos. They start looking up, documentaries. They start looking up, facts on it that aren't technically true. Yeah. They can be like one day, oh, I saw the Slender Man. Or just
like subreddits of people that saying that, oh, we seen
encounters,
it. Yeah, we seen it.
And then it's like everything. The more you hear it, the more you're going to want to believe it. You know what I mean? So what ends up happening is that it can manifest itself into that. You know what I mean?
Yes, of course.
So I personally believe that you can, because like I was saying, is where us are giving power to the story, and as the story goes, and then also too, you have to remember, it's like the story changes. It's not always the same thing. You know what I mean? Sometimes they got them to do this, sometimes you get them to do that. So it's like in the just in the episode that I showed you for the Supernatural, you know what I mean? One person will go in there and change his story pretty much of what he was, how he can die, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Of course.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. But it trips you out how these things come to be, and pretty much I guess you would say like show or manifest itself. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's possible it could happen. That these things are going on in the world. I mean. Not only that, but that's why we believe a lot of urban legends as well. We believe a lot of things that that because they've been passing it down,
for a long time.
For a long time, like the the Llorona that just came out. They just finally made a movie about it, but that's something that it's the folklore, Mexican folklore for a long time. That's been going on for us.
And you figure it all started in Mexico, but they've seen sightings everywhere. You know what I mean? They say supposedly anywhere where there's a river. You know what I mean? If it is like any type of supernatural, you can see it there.
Yeah, but not only that, but also too, like saying the New Jersey Devil. I guess in New Jersey there's like this road that people take, right? And they call it the New Jersey Devil, obviously because it looks like a devil and it's in New Jersey. But apparently they see this thing flying in the night, in this kind of roadway. I really don't know what it's called.
Like the Jeepers Creepers guy.
I guess, yeah, something like, he kind of, perfect example. Yeah, he kind of looks like the Jeepers Creepers guy, and that's how they explain it. People have, cases of them seeing stuff like that, and I'm not saying that, it's false. I mean, I didn't see it. I hope I don't, but, like maybe it could be, maybe it couldn't be. But for example, saying if it wasn't true, for example, you're driving that long, road, highway, there's a bunch of woods, from each side is dark. The only lights you see is your car. Yeah. And,
but not only that, you gotta, and that type of thing, it plays a lot of factors, you know what I mean? In the sense of, if you're driving in the middle of the night, if you've had a long drive, you know what I mean? You're already delirious as it is, you know what I mean? It's strained, you know what I mean? So, obviously, if you hear a lot of stories regarding something, your mind can be like, oh, dude, there's something there when it isn't there. You know what I mean? And it can take into consideration that you're tired. You know what I mean? You had a long day. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Like you were saying, if you're in the woods by yourself and nobody else around you and just your car lights, you're going to be freaked out. You know what I mean? You're going to be like, well, I don't want to be here. Like,
yeah, of course. Yeah. I don't want to, I don't want to be here. I don't want to, or I don't want to see these kind of things.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
But that's what happens. So
then also too, you scare yourself. So you're like, oh, okay, I see something, or I hear something, or any little movement, any little crack or something. You're just like watching your back, and
I know that. But I mean, it also has to do with the fact that what is it? If you just think about it, saying for example, saying you think about it, but it doesn't do nothing to you. But maybe the next person that thinks about it, it could do something to them, you know. So that's what I'm saying. Like it does affect people.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it affects everybody differently.
Yeah, it does affect everybody
It
differently.
does.
Because saying it, for example, you don't believe in that kind of shit. You know, like any kind of paranormal stuff. You know, then you might not be more perceptive to that. You know, being a believer. In other words, being a believer. You know, if you're a believer, you won't be like right away, like, you know, shrug it off and be like, nah, it's not real. That doesn't exist. Yeah. You know, like, nah, that can never happen. Who knows? Maybe it could happen. You know, I mean, I haven't
to this day. Like we spoke about in a lot of our podcasts. There's a lot of stuff we don't know about, and there's a lot of stuff that still to this day in this world.
Well, I know. That's why I look it up and I try to, you know, research it and do my own kind of.
No. I know, but I'm just saying, like, to this day, there's a lot of things that we still don't know if it's true or isn't true.
But not only that, but there's a lot of things that scientists and you know, and doctors and
can't explain.
You know, can't explain, and they just say it's a miracle. You know, they call it a miracle. You know, it's a miracle. Like because they don't know any other way to explain it. You know, they don't have any facts. You know, of how. You know, it's able to be like, okay, well, this is how I know this is not real because this and this, you know, and a lot of things they can prove right or they can prove wrong, you know, but they don't. You know, sometimes they can't.
No, yeah, of course. So overall, we both believe that it can.
I believe it could be, and I believe it could be done.
You know what I mean? And
if there's enough, you know, people, believing into that kind of stuff.
So it can, overall, no matter how you see it, it will. No matter how you see it, it can manifest itself in different ways and different ways that you spread it. You know what I mean? Because let's just say that the Slender Man has been passed down since, you know, the old times. You know what I mean? People are gonna believe it. You know what I mean? Because like they say, it's like if you can't understand it, you know what I mean, believe it. Yeah, so in regards to the Slender Man,
what is it? In regards to the Slender Man, they made Netflix made a pretty much, I guess, a movie.
A movie, yeah.
Called Mercy Black, right? And in the movie, it pretty much shows how this, I guess, urban legend came to be. You know, it is based on a true event.
True event,
yeah. A true event, okay? Mercy Black, there was two that did it. The HBO did like a kind of like a documentary about it. They pretty much, you know, explain how these two kids, and they got like 40 years, I believe, of being in like a mental institution. Like they got 40 years, you know, for doing that to their friend. But in the movie, it shows how these three friends, they create this person named Mercy Black, and in creating this I guess thing, it would help them, I guess, take away their sorrows, you know, their hurts.
Yeah,
you get me? But they didn't go. They had to give a sacrifice,
and in order for it to become
reality. And I'm not trying to give the whole movie because I don't want to kill it if you guys want to watch it. But yeah, pretty much they had to sacrifice someone, you know, to make this a reality, to make it whole, you know. And they didn't end up doing it. They the person that I guess was supposed to die didn't die, and that's how the movie continues. But it did manifest. It did create.
It created something out of nothing.
Out of nothing.
Yeah.
You get me? So they did create this being, you know, in the movie, and it sounds absurd that, you know, can this, like, you know, maybe, you know, like I'm saying, like, who knows? Like, I mean, I wouldn't try it, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
you were just trying to try it.
I was just saying for the podcast, you know, for the podcast, you know.
Yeah. So if you guys want to check it out, the movie, it's really good, and like we were talking about, they create a folklore, I guess, out of nothing. You know what I mean? Nothing. And it made them do things, you know what I mean, that they didn't want to do. And you know, you were saying, like, in the movie, you know, they had to sacrifice their friend, you know, and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But it gets you to think, you know, how we were talking about is that, you know, if, you know, and then this is the thing that it's like, when people make movies, you know, like this movie, it's based on a true story. A lot of the stuff in there gets you to think because, you know, it can be true, you know, like TV shows, you know, movies. It's like, it gets you to think, where do they get these things from? If there is no records on them, if there is no, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So a bunch of...
Yeah, but if you think about, like, okay, like, people that write horror books and make horror movies and stuff. They have vivid imagination as well. People that make horror video games. Like when The Evil Within, what is it? It's a horror game. That came out. There was this Japanese girl she said that she would see these images, these nasty things in her dreams, and she would wake up and start drawing them. And those were what she used to put in the game, which were freaking creepy as hell. Honestly.
No, that's what I'm saying. So you figure it's just all have
people can create stuff out of nothing. You get me?
Yeah, and it's just I would suggest, like you were saying, it's just how vivid not only your imagination is how much you believe in something.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying
like me and you, we believe in paranormal stuff. Because not only because we've been through some of it. I don't know you, but I have.
Well, like I told you, in my experiences of work and in my room, I told myself, like, maybe I was just tired, but I felt like there was an object, something standing.
So that's what I'm saying.
Maybe it was real, but because in my my what's it? I guess probably say my sweater's house. You would say in his house, pretty much they had experience. No, so
that's what I'm saying. So me and you are more open to believing it because it's happened to us. It's happened to people we know.
All that, but since I have
been a part of it, so it's like for us, it's much easier for us to be like, yeah, it can be true.
Not only that, like people that have suffered from like sleep paralysis, which I have, a lot of times like you see these things, when you suffer from it, when you can't wake up, but your eyes are open and stuff. You see like these nasty images and stuff, and maybe it is real, maybe it's not. There's like some, I guess, folklore about talking about how supposedly that it is real, and then there's like some demons that are laying on top of you that don't let you get up and stuff, and things like that. Because I've looked into it, you get me. But for me, sometimes I'm like, I just take a deep breath and like try not to, I was like, just start moving your body.
Talking about that, it's my wife. She has sleep paralysis. One time she told me that she felt something get on the bed. Like the bed, like pushed on the bed. You get on the bed and get on top of her, and then she couldn't move, speak, or nothing, and she was freaked out. And like, I was right next to her. She told me, but she couldn't move to help me.
Yeah. So
I was just like, damn. I was like, that happened not that far from me. I was like, what if it was true? What if something was there?
But like for me, like that's happened to me as well. But I just try to wiggle my toes. That's how I do. Like there's methods to break out of it.
No, that's one of them.
So one of them for me is like I try to calm down because sometimes I freak out. Like that I can't move my body. I freak out. So I just like start like wiggling my toes, and then boom, it like I start feeling sensation. I start moving again.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Actually, it never happened to me, but I did have one time of feeling like when I was in a dream, like how they say a dream within a dream.
Where you wake up and you think that you're awake, but you're not. Yeah,
okay, so that happened to me once where I felt like I couldn't move, but it wasn't like I was awake. It was like I was in a dream. But it was the same thing. Like I felt like still and everything, and to this day I still remember it. And I just couldn't move. And then I did the same thing. I started wiggling my toes, and then finally I would move. But then I woke up out of that dream that I was in.
Yeah,
so it was just kind of like trippy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so, but, going back to the Slender Man, there's this forum, and it's still, my brother just checked it out. It's still active. It's called Something Awful Internet. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it just has, like, awful shit in there. I
looked it up, and
it
doesn't look like it has a lot of paranormal stuff. It's just a bunch of, I guess, when they did create the Slender Man, it did have a bunch of, like, other things, but right now it's just like a bunch of like.
Well, if anything, you could. Well, when we finish the podcast, you can link it so people can.
Yeah, they can check it out. But it's like just like random stuff, like.
Oh, okay.
It's like more forums than any paranormal forums.
Okay, so maybe that was just part of one. I guess sub forum. But okay, so pretty much on June 10th, 2009, guys, it was created on the thread Something Awful Internet, the forum.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty much a Photoshop contest, right, guys? It was a Photoshop contest. It pretty much just challenged, people
to make things.
Yeah, to make a paranormal image, right? So this guy named Eric Knudsen, he created the Slender Man. Pretty much, he created 2 images, with this with some children, standing next to this tall, figure, with no face and stuff, very slim, slender. That's why they called it the Slender Man.
Yeah.
And I guess the folklore around that is that this Slender Man, it feeds off of children and stuff.
Yeah.
it feeds off of them, and it takes their pretty much to their soul and stuff like that.
Real quick, talking about that, the one that feeds off of children. I don't know if you remember the movie of the guy that didn't have a face, and he was in the film, and he would come and kill the families when they would play the film. He would escape.
Oh yeah, you're talking about.
But remember, he also fed off of children's.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. He would make he would make one of the children kill the family, but he would record it and stuff. Yeah. I forgot. The movie was awesome. I liked it a lot, but I forgot what it was called.
You know what? Just it's sorry. I know you were talking about the Slender Man, but I know you're talking about the Slender Man, but it was reminding me of that because it's crazy because that was another thing that the story was that he fed off of the children.
Yeah, he did feed off the children and stuff, but
and he would get power through the children.
Yes, of course, but he would choose one of them to do his pretty much bidding for him.
Yeah, and
then after that, he would take them and add them to his collection of children and stuff like that. Yeah, but what is that? I forgot what movie it was called. If I could remember it, but yeah,
when we find out the name, I'll post it in the link as well.
Yeah, but so pretty much it was created, guys. This Slender Man was a contest. Imagine it was a Photoshop contest. To create a paranormal image. I mean, imagine that from 2009 to 2019. How they made a movie of it. They made two movies of it. Yeah. They made one they came out in theaters, which sucked ass. Then the Mercy Black was, I think, a little bit better.
I think the Mercy Black one was.
And then they did a HBO special, about it. But the HBO special was more in depth about this two. I guess friends that stabbed their other friend pretty much, and
they said that the Slender Man made them do it.
The Slender Man made them do it. So what is it? Where was it at, Abel?
It was in Wisconsin,
Waukesha. Forgive us, guys, if we don't know.
Yeah, if we're butchering the name, we're sorry, Waukesha. Yeah, it says on May 31st, 2014. Two 12-year-old girls in Waukesha, Wisconsin held down and stabbed a 12-year-old classmate 19 times.
Damn, 19 times.
It says when questioned later by authorities, they reportedly claimed that they wished to commit a murder as a first step of becoming proxies for the Slender Man.
Yeah.
So you figure if these two little girls, you know what I mean? Well, like, we go back to the thing like you were saying. What if it was a demon making them do something
in the sense of, of a Slender Man or whatever, image of something,
You know what I mean? Making them do this horrible thing so, you know what I mean, they can release, like, let's say another demon or release, some negative energy in the place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So who are we to say that it wasn't true?
That's what I'm saying. But these two friends, and the surprising thing is that the girl that got stabbed 19 times survived. She survived the stabbing, and it's crazy how these two friends, questioned by the cops, dead gave the answer. They wanted to become proxies. Pretty much, they wanted to be, the offering to the Slender Man.
And going and talking about the girls, and they said that the reason they did it was, they found out about it online, and the reason they did it was because of the Slender Man threatened their families if they didn't commit that murder.
And that's what I'm saying, though. It's like, it manifests itself, into their heads, and they think about it. Children, like they said, not only children, everybody, but normally they have let their minds run wild. They have a vivid imagination. A lot of the times, they're able to think of these things that nobody could. And being, scared enough of something that does not exist, something that does not exist, scare them enough to commit a crime, you get me, of murder. Well, technically she didn't die, but she could have, creating a crime of murder just because of this thing manifesting and having them do this kind of stuff.
And also, to reading into them, they were saying that they also conversed with Lord Voldemort and one of the Teen Mutant Ninja Turtles. In regards to that, so
let's call up the cancel. I'll be like, I need to speak to Raphael.
So you figure
they're probably batshit crezy.
That's what I'm saying. So we, like you were saying, maybe these kids, have a split personality. For real, dude. I was reading this. Look, watch. Look, read right here.
I'm like, hold on, fools. I gotta call Master Splinter up real quick.
Look, dude,
no, I saw it, and I
just like,
I just didn't want to mention it, but
no, but it it goes to the thing is like, yeah, it can be true, but at the same time, dude, they're talking to Lord Voldemort and one of the Ninja Turtle. So it's like, like, come on,
funny.
Yeah.
I didn't want to mention it in the podcast, but yeah.
No, yeah, but it just goes to say, it's like, how do we know if they're crazy or if they're if in
I
all
know, well,
reality?
we consult with Voldemort, dog. You know you fucking crazy, dog.
No, but we go to the thing is like, like you said, it could be true. It could have took a form of something that they weren't afraid of.
Of course.
You know what I mean? To have them to do a
But
certain thing.
not only that though, but sometimes too, like, you know, you saying you're into like this, you know, demonic stuff, right? But and then a lot of times, sometimes they brainwash another person into it, you know, like, you know, because
they're like cults, kind of.
Yeah, cults. I mean, I wouldn't call the kids that they're in cults, but I'm just saying.
No, but yeah, it's like kind of like the way that it works.
Yeah,
that they brainwash.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was pretty crazy that these two kids still, you know, did what they did, you know. And look at what it spawned did. It spawned 2 movies, you know, Netflix, you know.
Well, you know,
and the thing is that this urban legend is gonna still continue to go on. People are still gonna say to see them. They're gonna, you know, create more photos, you know, and it's gonna go on. It's gonna keep on, you know, going and maybe manifesting in other people, you know, or on themselves, around the world, you know,
having
things like
them to do like stuff. And then, you know, the thing that sucks here is that, you know, big movie companies and all that, they thrive on making movies like this. You know what I mean? Based on true story.
Yeah. Because if you can slap based on a true story, everybody want to go see it. Everybody's gonna want to go see it because it's a true story.
It'll be like when like just with the Winchester movie, the Winchester House. What is it called?
Yeah, Winchester.
Okay, you figure since everybody knew it was based on a true story, everybody wanted to go see it. You want to go see? You told me it wasn't that good.
It wasn't that good, honestly.
You know what I mean? We went to the house. We didn't feel nothing.
I know, but I mean, it was like I told my brother, like the way how it was before. Like she owned hundreds of acres. Like I thought this house was gonna be in a remote location, you know. And it wasn't in no remote location, you know. It was literally just, and we did the extended tour, guys.
Yeah,
okay?
we did the back.
The back rooms, everything. You know, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, it just
honestly, it wasn't
as scary as I thought it was gonna be.
The only thing I felt that when I was going through the whole house is I felt like I was being watched. That's the only thing I felt.
Well, I don't know if I didn't pay attention enough, but I just didn't. I mean, obviously I didn't want to get left behind, you know, in the house, you know, but. You know, I just didn't.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just
the only thing that did happen to us, like I was explaining in the podcast, was that this is live flicker where they said this gentleman appears, you know, like this guy, but that was it.
Yeah,
that was nothing.
No, but we go to the thing is like you were saying, you slap based on a true story, and everybody wants to go see it. You know what I mean? And then everybody wants to look up to it, and then they'll be like, "Yeah, dude, one time I saw the Slender Man."
Yeah, and they're like, "No shit, like you did," and
you know what I mean? So it's just gonna continue, and honestly, it's like everything. These stories are never gonna die.
No urban legend, yeah. People are gonna create another urban legend. You know, if saying that the Slender Man did, you know, it's a hoax, and they, you know, leave it at that, and then the forums delete their photos. There's something else is gonna come and take his place. You know?
Yeah, somebody else is gonna. Well, something else is gonna.
Yeah, something else is gonna take his place. That's why we were mentioning about, you know, what is it, Supernatural? You know, how they created this gentleman, axe murderer named Mordecai
out of nothing.
After nothing, you know.
You know, and also too, like when people study stuff, you know what I mean, like that they don't understand, they think it's okay to mess with. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then they open up like a doorway to something they're not supposed to, and that's when, you know, the evil spirits or spirits, you know, spirits that are just, or like even like, let's say spirits that are maybe not harmful to you, but they just want to play jokes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They that's how they come to life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's how they come to life, and then they want you to.
Yeah, it's like, for example, like, you know, the pentagram, you know, that the star and the circle, you know, how they supposedly use it to summon, you know, demons or you know, things like that kind of thing. You know, it's just these, even if the symbol doesn't hold any evil, what you use the symbol for,
you give it power.
You give it power. You get me? I feel like that you know, could, you know, be true. You know, a symbol, you know, even if in our religion, you know, it says to us that's, you know, that's a bad, you know, sign. You know, either way, like if it's not evil, but you put it, you know, to be evil, then it will be evil. You know.
Yeah, and then also too, you know, yeah, that was one of the main stories. You know, but there's been other cases where, you know, people have stabbed. You know, attacked family members and stuff with a knife, and then they blame the Slender Man. They say, you know,
I know, but what was so atrocious is that, you know, they stabbed. This one was, you know, worldwide. Well, you know,
because they're kids.
They're kids. You know, they stabbed their friend 19 times, and they blamed it on the Slender Man. Yeah. You know, like I'm pretty sure there's other incidents of, you know, like things happening or something similar to saying, you know, saying they saw you know, a tall Slender Man. You know.
Yeah. No, yeah, and then like I was telling you earlier before we started the podcast, is that, you know, yeah, it started in 2009, you know what I mean, but if you look at pictures, there's pictures that are, from 1986, you know what I mean, from 1983, you know what I mean? So it's just like,
I know, but
we don't know if
but
it's
maybe
true.
yeah, that's something. It could be fake. There's a lot of old photos that can be faked. You know what I'm saying? Like there's like some photos that I've seen like about supposedly time travelers, right? And then like there's like they have like sunglasses and it's like saying 1930.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like like who said who?
But
they
we
say,
go back
they say
to
that,
the thing.
They say that
it's
sorry.
like, who are we to?
No, I know, but
to
they say
know?
relatively speaking, time travel is possible.
Yeah,
but you can't go back in time. You can only move forward in time. Scientifically proven, and that's the way it is. What is it? That you can only move forward in time, not backward. So when they say there's a fucking time traveler that went to fucking World War II and had, what is it? Vans on and shit. Like, that's bullshit because you can't go back.
I get you, but I feel it's like they say, like, deja vu. When stuff like that, it's like there is things that you dream or things that you see that you can't explain, that you just wake up the next day. You know what I mean? And be like, well, hold on, I already went through this. Or this already happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So it's like, what is it called? So it can or it can't be true or not true. You know what I mean?
Of course. No, I mean, I'm not saying it's not, but that's what trips me out about this podcast. That's what I wanted to talk about, the Slender Man stuff. But it's something that I like looked into before, like this whole stabbing situation happened. Like before this, this incidents happened, that I used to like.
Well, didn't you say you saw the movie and
no,
there
was like this documentary, like I guess like a YouTube one and shit, but it was like fake, but it talked about the folklore and it kind of creeped me out and stuff. But I mean, it wasn't real, it was fake, it was just made up,
Well, who are we to say as of right now it isn't real or is real?
Or yeah,
you know what I mean? Because maybe at the time it wasn't real, and that was like you were saying, he just made it up, but now.
Maybe now it does live,
It manifested itself into something that is around now, you know what I mean? That does move around, that does feed on children, you know what I mean? That does prey on children to do evil things, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yep. So that pretty much wraps up the podcast, guys. I hope you liked it. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please let your friends, families, everybody know to hit us up.
And also, too, we're going to try to be more active on our podcast because we do want more followers. And
we do want more. We do want to, bring topics, that you never heard of or you have heard of, but you never done the research yourself, so we can do it for you. If you ever want to hear about a certain something, you leave it in the comment section below.
We have a Twitter as well,
Twitter,
a Facebook page.
So if you can follow us, guys. What is it? And then for next topic, for next week, we're gonna talk about Unit 731. It was about how the Japanese pretty much they did human experimentations.
Yeah, we have some pictures
during World War II. So it's really crazy, guys. And we want to talk about it it's
a lot of information.
Yeah, because these monsters pretty much did all this kind of stuff on humans, but in research of what? I mean, it was during World War II, where Hitler was looking for the Ark. The Noah's Ark. Yeah, the Holy Grail and stuff. These people were like demented. Maybe they were trying to create something that, in their laboratory that,
Well, it'd be like, have you seen the movie Warlord?
No.
Or Overlord, I think it is. Is that they created like
but it was like kind of like it was during like World War II when they created like
that's what I'm saying. So it was
I haven't seen it, but I heard
the Germans were experimenting on people.
I was saying, who knows that the Germans try to make zombies or something.
Exactly.
But yeah, so Unit 731, pretty much Japanese human experimentation, guys. We're gonna talk about that next week. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Make sure to follow, subscribe, and hit that thumbs up, please.
All right, thank you guys. Have a great day.
All right, bye.